Hi lovelies, this is Kelly from Crafty Kelly at www.craftykelly.co.uk. So recently I've been on Creating Craft TV with a fabulous USB from our lovely Linda Chapman and her cutting files. I did do a vinyl demonstration that I didn't unfortunately get the chance to completely finish. I don't always get the time to kind of explain everything as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish off this project and I'm going to go through as much detail as I can when it comes to adhesive back vinyl. In another video I will do heat transfer vinyl, so watch this space. So when it comes to adhesive back vinyl, there are several different options. You can get it in matte, you can get it in gloss, you can get it in holographic if you want to. I mean, there's so many choices, but also you can get a different tack. So it could be a high tack, which is a permanent tack, or repositional. So you've really got to think about what it is that you're putting it onto and what it's going to be used for. So if I wanted to put something on, say, a mug that might go in the dishwasher, I'd make sure that I look for an adhesive back vinyl that is permanent and dishwasher proof. Now when you look up vinyls, like if you just say you go to Amazon, they have full description within their kind of little information box about what is appropriate for that vinyl. And you might just want to cut a vinyl out so you can stick it on things like plastic things or something that's not going to get a lot of wear and tear, say frames, like pictures and sentiments and stuff. So really think about what type of vinyl you want and what you want it for, because a lot of the permanent vinyls can be used outside. So just say you wanted to do a sign on some wood and you want to cut the vinyl out, you can get permanent matte vinyls. So I've got this one, this is on a roll, and it's about, I think it's 12 inches that way, but then I have no idea how long it is. I've had it up for a while in my stash. Whenever I use this though, is I try and cut a portion, say a 12 by 12 piece the night before, pop it under some weight just to get it flat, because it's quite pingy and it pings off your mat. So just bear that in mind, because that will create kind of movement on the mat if it's not flat. Just something to bear in mind. But all the vinyls you can use with your craft dies as well. So you know there are other uses for vinyl. I'll just put that one behind me. So what I have here is I just have some offcuts of some vinyl that I've used before. This Artistra, no, that doesn't sound right, but the brand that I use this from, I really like. I find I get really good results with it. The back doesn't stick to my mat and tear. So I quite like this one. I will do a blog post with all of the links to any of the products that I've used, say for instance on Amazon, because I don't have links for Create Craft at the moment because of all the changes. The affiliate links and stuff like that just aren't being sorted yet. But I do have links to Amazon where I got a lot of my products that I do use regularly. Now you can buy lots of different quality vinyls. Now this one I've got to say I wasn't massively impressed with, because the carrier sheet kept ripping. Whenever I put it onto the cardstock, it ripped, it got stuck, and I had to do quite a bit of scraping to remove it. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure where I got that one from, but what I tend to do now is I look at the back, and some of them have a certain print on, so and I will still use this eventually, but you know, there are different qualities of vinyl, and the carrier sheet is really, for me, quite an important thing to kind of get right. So now we've got our vinyl, and we've spoken about our permanent, our repositionable, our kind of one-use vinyls. For positioning, I use a transfer tape quite often. Sometimes I don't have to, because if an image is all in one, I can actually just peel the back off like a sticker and position it that way. But if I want like precision, then transfer tape is the thing you need. there are several different types of transfer sheet too. So just quickly on the transfer sheet, you can get a low tack, medium tack, high tack. So that is the tackiness of the sheet. This one that I'm using, I picked up the wrong tack. This is a medium tack. I needed low tack, but I use this several times, so this strip will do several projects. So I'm not that fussed, and I just have to be a bit more careful with when I'm rubbing it onto the project to make sure I get good adhesion from the adhesive back vinyl. But this is really good, and you can get different repositionable transfer tapes for heat transfer vinyl too. So some of them are heat resistant and will work for both vinyls, some won't. So if you want to do heat transfer vinyl, make sure that if you're getting a transfer sheet or transfer tape, that you're getting the right one, because you don't want to be melting that onto your project. I have seen that happen before, thankfully not by myself. So that's a bit on transfer tapes. This particular transfer tape, if I hadn't already mentioned, this is one that I got from Amazon, and once again, like I said, I brought it in a medium tack. I'm going to use the whole roll because it comes on a roll very similar to this. So until I've used it all, I won't buy any more, but I should have got the low tack. So I hope that's kind of answered some questions. We're going to go over to my ScanNcut machine and we're going to cut stuff out so you can see the different ways of cutting vinyl and maybe why I cut some vinyls in the way I do. So you have a choice of cuts. You can do a full cut, so that would be straight through the vinyl, straight through the transfer tape. Or you can do a half cut, and a half cut just takes it through the vinyl but not through the transfer tape. And there are advantages to this, especially if you're doing, say, a name that's not joined in any way. So if it's not like a complete image that's joined, so you don't lose the positionability, being able to weed out the unwanted vinyl, it can be really useful. And especially when I'm using heat transfer vinyl, I tend to do that quite often. Weeding can be a bit of a lengthy process, but I think you get really good results by doing it that way, personally. So let's go over to the machine. Let's flip you around. Okay, so I will just pop some bits out of the way. I think I covered everything I wanted to. Quality, transfer tape. Okay, so we're going to be cutting out some of some of the butterflies that I actually showed on Create and Craft from the USB. Now I'm just going to go into my retrieve data into my machine because I have a page that I filled completely with images to just cut out. I did explain on the show that I do this quite often. I'm going to take the whole mat across to my working mat, but then we're going to edit out. So I'm going to select all, and then I'm just going to pop you and you because I don't want to cut you and you out. Oh, sorry, I do want to cut you and you out. So I'm going to OK that. We're going to delete everything else off the mat, and we've got our two butterflies. Now I might delete one of these off. Yeah, let's just cut one butterfly. Yeah, let's just cut one. So I'm going to make this butterfly slightly bigger, hopefully so you can have a good, you can see quite clearly. There we go, he's good. Let's hope he fits on the vinyl. And OK that, then I'm just going to position, I'm going to position 3 bits of vinyl onto my mat. So one in this top corner, and we're going to do the half cut on that, but we've got to do one stage at a time, or one cut at a time, because you can't mix doing a half cut and a full cut. It just doesn't work. And I'm going to pop this bit here. I'm going to try and get that butterfly to fit on here. And then I'm going to do, I think I actually need a little bit bigger vinyl. Do I have? That's better. That's perfect actually. Pop that down. Okay, so I have my pieces of vinyl in place. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to pull that through. Okay, so let's just scan the mat so I can see how I can position the butterfly onto that piece of vinyl, because the beauty of a ScanNcut is I want to use every scrap I can when it comes to working with my vinyls, because, you know, I want to get the most out of it, of course. So now that's scanned itself in, I can see that my butterfly, if I give him a little rotation, let's edit object, let's rotate him just a little bit. I think that fits perfectly. So he fits there, I'm happy. I'm going to OK. Keep on going forwards because I'm okay with everything at the moment. We're going to do a full cut. So I'm cutting. I'm just going to, so I've just checked, look, my half cut is on. So I'm going to just come down to half cut and take that off, because it is as simple as that into this little tool to change that. So half cut is off, so that will do a full cut. It says it will take 2 minutes, but I doubt it, so I'm just going to let that run and we'll come back in a sec. Okay, so that's cut, and you might be able to see that a few bits have moved, and I'll explain a bit more in a second about that. But let's then do the half cut. So I'm going to go back into the editing page. I'm going to whip that over to the other side. Let's just rotate it back, so then hopefully it fits nicely onto that piece of vinyl, which it does. Let's then go forwards and cut that. And then this time what we will do is when we cut it, we will do the half cut. So I've gone into that options, the kind of little toolbox. I come down to half cut and on, and we go OK, and then we let that cut. Okay, so that is done a full cut, and as you can see, nothing has moved. It is still in place. So the last thing I want to do, because these are kind of complete images that don't have any free parts, let's go back and get an image or something that will have free parts. So let's add something to the mat. So I'm going to go into the patterns, let's go into the words. I'm not sure, I can't remember if there is anything that is not joined. No, I think all of these are joined, so I may just, well actually that doesn't look completely joined, maybe. Let's just write something ourselves. Yeah, let's just write something ourselves. So I'm going to go into my fonts, and I'm actually going to create a word. So let's just do Theo's name. So we'll do Theo, because I use that on quite a lot of things. So I've got THEO. I'm going to take that forwards. I want it bigger than that, so not as big as that. The piece of vinyl that I've got on here is approximately 6 inches, so we need to take that, oh excuse me, my tea's repeating, just under 6 inches there, because my vinyl on here is just over the 6 inch mark, so I want to make sure that that is going to fit and I don't have to fanny around with it too much. So I'm happy with that. Let's delete this butterfly off because we have cut that, we don't need that anymore. So now I've got that, and these are individual, and as you can see there with the T for instance there's these extra little bits, and with the E, so they're not attached. So if I was cutting that full cut I'd probably lose those bits. You might not be as careless as me, but I am don't mean to be, I just lose things. So I'm just going to then cut that, and that should take about a minute. The half cut is on because we've left it on from the previous project. I need to remember when I next go to use my machine just to make sure I take it off of half cut if I'm cutting cardstock. Fab, so I'm just going to pop that out of my machine. I'm going to just turn you off for now and just pop my machine to one side so it's not taking up all my desk space. Now, so we've got our full cut, our half cut words. So I'm going to pop these off of my mat. So with the full cut, as you can see, it has gone through all of it. So it's gone through that carrier sheet too. I shall pop that over to one side. Let's just scrape this off my mat. And with our butterfly on this side, it has not gone through. That is perfect. And then the same with the words. So once I've got this out of the way, pop glue back on and just move them to one side. So weeding can be a bit of a messy process, just because sometimes you've got lots of little bits. But even when you do a full cut, sometimes you still have to pop out all the little bits in a very similar way when you are die cutting too. So that is not liking to come out. Let's give that one a go. That one. Okay, it doesn't look like it's cut as nicely as it should have done on one side, which leads me to believe that this slightly moved whilst it was cutting. So do double check your mats, guys, because this hasn't cut as beautifully as it should have done. But I'm not going to go cut again, because we're here to see the idea of it. I think what happened is, I think the butterfly must have moved slightly. But that's fine. So there it is. We have now got ourselves a vinyl sticker. So if I then come to this one, now when weeding, making sure that the vinyl that you're grabbing with your weeding tool is the vinyl on the outside of the project, because you don't want to pick up the actual image. So I've literally just hooked that corner, and then I'm just going to gently work my way around, just lifting and pulling away the unwanted vinyl. So, whoop. Okay, give that a little push. Don't want to hurt those little antennas. So let's just go. Okay, so now it is looking for the indentations where it's cut. So I shall do this and speed it up. Right, so that one is weeded out, so you can see a clear difference. Obviously this one is on the carrier sheet. Let's just do the words so you can see how beneficial actually having the half cut when working with items that need to be in a specific place. It's really it is really vital. As you can see, that weeded really beautifully. I could actually just use that if I wanted to, because that would work just as well on a project. So, do you know what? Let's just grab this notebook, and I could use that as a stencil as well, couldn't I? So, with our transfer tape, let's transfer the name onto the book first, so you can see how that works. So this could be Theo's school book. So I've just taken the backing sheet off. I'm going to give it a bit of a burnish down, just trying to make sure that I'm getting the letters and not so much the surrounding paper, because this is a slightly higher tack transfer tape than I would like. It sometimes picks up everything else as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lift, and I'm going to roll this back I tend to roll because I find I get best results. So that is positioned beautifully to take to a children's bedroom door, a book like I'm doing here, their lunchbox, whatever it is that you want to pop it on. So I'm now just going over, giving it a good firm push down so it starts to adhere to the book. Once again, I'm going to try and roll that back. Got a little bit of liftage there, a little bit of liftage there. So slowly, slowly, slowly. There we go. And once I've got a little bit there. Okay, let's pop that back on there for a sec. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the carrier sheet it was on, because if I was to go over it I'd probably catch it. To give it a final burnish, give it a good rub down. Always put something between your tool and the vinyl. I always tend to use what I've got to hand. Oh, just rip that. So that I think is good and not going to move anywhere. So you can see the benefits of being able to reposition with transfer tape and the half cut, and how that works together for a project such as this where there are lots of little bits. Now with a butterfly it's not so much of an issue. With a butterfly like this, which is a full item, I can just pop the back off and stick it down if I want to, but I might not get it in the right place. I might not be able to line it up as nicely. So let's just take this off as if it was a sticker. And then I can just pop that down. I've got a little bit of a bubble. So I do have a tiny bit of kind of wiggle room in the sense of, as long as I haven't burnished it down, I should be able to reposition it just about. So there we go, that's it as a sticker. Now how about taking it to a project like this who's got shape. So when doing something like this, I would probably always use a transfer tape. So if I was doing this onto glass bottles or jars, like plastic candles like this. This candle was very inexpensive. It was from Poundland, the land where you get everything for £1. Although it's not at the moment, but you know, you can pick up other stuff which isn't £1. But I picked it up there some time ago, and every so often I'll remove the vinyl that I've put on it and redecorate it with something else. So what I have done, as before, I've positioned my transfer tape on top, I've given it a rub down, and then I'm just going to roll that back. So then this does give me the ability, if I was taking it to a wall, if I was taking it to a door, if I was taking it to a glass jar, I can position it however I wish. So I'm just going to go flat. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a rub, and then let's go in with my tool. So once again we'll do the rolling technique. That, oh no, we're good, we're good, we're good. I thought the antenna might come up. I think what's really important, guys, is taking your time as well. So when you're making with vinyl, don't do it in a rush, because you're likely to get it wrong, or to tear the vinyl, or you know, something else like that. Now you saw that I used that on several projects. It's starting to, I've still got plenty of tack in there, so I can still carry on using it however I wish. So let's flip you back around. Hello. So this is easy. It's quite easy to kind of use vinyl, and if you want to, obviously even with your card making, you can still be creating all of your sentiments. Cut it out in vinyl, position it, really easy. really nice way to kind of use everything. But this is just I wanted to give you an overview of ways of using vinyl, especially when you're using Linda Chapman's products or your ScanNcut. I just want you to have that confidence to give it a go. If it goes wrong first time, just try again. It's a bit of vinyl. It's like, kind of what I say about cardstock. Always give it a go. But I hope you've enjoyed our little bit of vinyl cutting projects and fun. If you do have any questions, please do get in touch and I will do my best to answer them and get back to you as soon as I can. So I have been Crafty Kelly at www.craftykelly.co.uk. If you've liked my video or what I do, please subscribe to the channel. Please follow me and send me a message or a comment. I love to hear from you. So have a great day. Losing my words. Have a great day now. Bye.